the second Emu heard somebody else utter the name Joy Boy, he popped. Oh, fuck, OG, no! Alright, what it do, crew? It is I, your local cloud nigga Nimbus, back at it again with another One Piece chapter review for you today. Now, with all that being said, let's get into peak! Woo! Man, it feels so good to say that, man. So, chapter 1190, titled Those Whose Death Brings Celebration, right? So, obviously, last time we left off, Gaban came in with the save to help Luffy out, and he also got the explanation of all like the different blades, like all the 19 kings or whatever, right? Pick up right up after that, and this is where we actually find out the ability of Jingtan the Axe, and apparently, from what it looks like, it just has the ability to set things on fire or set itself on fire, right? So if you've been keeping track, I believe that is Vohu, Jingtan, Fragarach, Longises, and Graham. Those are the 5 blades we know so far. We get a 6th one later in the chapter, but we'll get to that when we get to that, right? While Gaban was defending against Imu, he also at the same time cut up the tree Luffy was pinned to, and as that tree gets sent flying back, the stumps actually push the swords out when he lands, right? I kind of missed over that in my original read-through, so I really didn't mention it there. So, Scopper and Emu, they, having a little bit of a face-off while Luffy's dying. Okay. Oh, well, hold on. Is Scopper pushing Emu back? Okay, well, man, let me shoot. Like, bruh, listen, bruh, Scopper Gaban is moving like Vince Carter in them Hawks days, bruh. He got one more in him, bruh. He got one more in him, bruh. Gaban, show me what you got. Time to pop out and show this youngin. Then we get a scene of Emu, like, huffing, seeing that his body can't really handle being down here. Like I said, breathing in this broke air.
Broke nigga alert. Broke nigga alert.
Is it talking about me?
Broke nigga
I
alert.
think so, my nigga.
Broke nigga alert.
Then obviously Luffy having 2 swords getting pierced out of him is screaming in bloody murder. Like, this nigga is going through it. Emu goes to swing at Gaban, but Gaban jumps up and hangs onto one of his trees with the axes. And then she telling us just like, damn, you ugly as a bitch. What a hideous form. You don't even seem to be of this world. Who art thou? Someone who understands the world. And after that cold ass bar, he jumps down, turns his back on the king of the world, and walks away. Gaban goes over to Luffy, picks this nigga up by his face, still, 2 stab wounds still in his chest, picks up Luffy and tells him, yo, you gotta lock in, nephew. You gotta lock in. Get up, straw hat, Luffy. Ah! It hurts! You're a disappointment. An injured old man just had to save your ass. Don't you have any shame? Bruh, I love Gaban, bruh. Like, bruh, I listen, I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm gonna keep it a bean. After seeing the ending of last chapter, I thought Gaban was gonna die I think Gaban's gonna die this chapter, or he's gonna get seriously injured. But man, I really hope that isn't the case. And this is a talk that, like, a lot of One Piece fans, myself included, have been waiting for Luffy to hear. I kind of brought it up at the end of last review, where, like, and don't get me wrong, where I understand that Gear 5 is like his, like, his joy, his happiness, and all the other stuff, right? And I love it for that exact reason, right? Like, I'm glad that Luffy's not this super edgy, like his final transformation is some sort of like super edgy bullshit, right? But at the same time, I still want him to lock in, right? Like I don't want, like, the Gear 5 we seen on Egghead ain't the Gear 5 that was boxing with Kaido up on that rooftop, gang. Like, I don't know if I'm the one who sees it, right? Because Luffy was fighting with everything back on that rooftop. And Egghead, he was kind of taking it easy. Like, he was starting mainly, right? So right now, what we need is Luffy to lock the fuck in. Bro, Gaban seen the slander that's been going around by Luffy's name, and he's just like, nah, we can't have none of this, bro. Lock in, tighten up. And Gaban simply tells him, like, yo, bitch, get your head out of your ass. It's not a hat. So you had a shiny white form and became an emperor. Big deal. Don't get cocky. It hurts, old man. Let me go. Luffy obviously continues to scream bloody murder, like, yo, get off of me. Like, I'm not gonna die. Like, leave me alone, right? And Gaban's still trying to drill this shit into him. He's just like, yo, you're gonna die here if you don't lock the fuck in. I think this is the first conversation Luffy has had with, like, a member of the Roger Pirates where, like, they're speaking to him as, like, an equal, in a sense, right? Because obviously Shanks talked to Luffy like, little kid, like little bro Luffy, right? And obviously with Rayleigh, it was more master student. With Gaban here, Luffy's a Yonko now. He has his Nika power. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, Gaban's kind of speaking to him, like, as, like, from great pirate to great pirate. And he's just telling me, yo, lock the fuck in, because this is not what we do. This is not how we get down, right? Right. Remember, when you rise in this sea, the number of enemies targeting you only increases. The King of the Pirate is a title reserved for one whose death is celebrated, because everyone's gunning for their throne. Oh man, dropping gems! Yes, sir, Gaban, that's what I see, bro. Dropping. Bro, give snaps to Gaban, bro. dropping gems on this nigga Luffy's head, bro. Oh my god. If any part of you still thinks becoming Pirate King is gonna be a stroll in the park, then go home now. Gaban, bro, please, bro, keep dropping gems. Let this nigga know, bro. Like, bro, I'm not gonna lie. Gaban's giving this nigga like 2 years worth of like wisdom in like 5 seconds, bro. Like, holy shit. Like, I always knew I was gonna fuck with Gaban more than Rayleigh, bro, but to this much, whew, bruh. And then he just tosses that nigga to the side and then goes back to fighting Emu. And while Luffy getting tossed to the side, he's eventually just talking shit back to Gaban, just like, bro, what the fuck is he talking about? I'll show him. Gang, I really hope you do. Because right now, we gonna need it. Because especially what happened later in the chapter. Ugh. Yikes. So Gaban prepares himself to fight Emu, and he whips out this new technique called Mantis Style Axe. Mantis Plume. And we get this cool little Mantis thing. I'm pretty sure this is just like a bunch of rolling axe attacks where he's just rolling his body forward with his axes up. And while he's doing that attack, Emu was just casually just pairing it with his Naginata. And Emu was just looking at him and just like, yo, is this a joke to you? And Gaban asks, you want to kill him, don't you? And Emu simply responds, I do. And I'm not gonna lie, this probably wasn't intended to be funny or a joke, but I found this shit hilarious. Or Gaban says, so does he really remind you so much of Joy Boy? And like literally the second Emu heard somebody else utter the name Joy Boy, he popped immediately brought out another sword. Like wasn't with the quickness, gang. Bruh, ooh, come on, you trying to, oh god, Gaban, you're trying to rage bait him so bad. But I fuck with it. I fuck with it heavy, bro. Gaban, oh please don't die, OG, bro. Gaban, OG, don't die, bro. Please, I'm fucking with you. Oh, please, He put up this new sword, Hanabami Toshiro. It seems to have the same property as the Omen Flames that are tracking Luffy across Elbaf. Because from what we see, he throws the sword, like he points the sword towards Gaban, and the Omen Flame kind of snakes him around to cut him up. So I think it's just like a sword, kind of like a snake sword almost. The Emu simply asks, who art thou? What dost thou know of me? Honabami Toshiro, what dost thou know? And that's where Gaban gives us another secret hint to what the One Piece could potentially be, as he says, I learned from Joy Boy's own words, but don't get me wrong, I have no intention of chasing after a person from the past I've never seen or met. I just want to see my captain's dream through till the end. So once again, pointing back to the joke or the story that the Roger crew found at Laugh-Tale, why the Laugh-Tale is named Laugh-Tale. Always love to get more and more hints as to what the One Piece is, because that was the will of our captain. And the Emu coughs up some more blood, a lot more. Now he's bleeding out of his mouth, and he just questions like, Captain, who is this captain? With his full chest standing 10 toes, 2 axes in his hand, he says, the King of the Pirates, Goldie Roger. This scene right here, I love this scene right here. We get a flashback to when Roger became King of the Pirates, but it's from the perspective of the girl saying Emu. Whoa, time out! Emu's getting a flashback. Time out. Hold on. This is distasteful. Why is a D being called King of the Pirates? Do not let his name spread any further. As you command. Now, in my initial read-through, I didn't really catch on to this, but after I did some research, did some further research into the chapter, I was able to piece together that this scene right here is the reason why the greater One Piece world knows him as Gold Roger and not Gold D Roger. This is when they made the order to change his bounty poster to Gold Roger. And then Emu comments on that. He says, that's right. The one who ushered in this golden age of piracy. And why would his former crewmate protect Straw Hat Luffy? Because you're trying so hard to get rid of him. Doesn't that explanation seem the most obvious? And I'm not gonna lie, you gotta give it to Gaban. He clocks Emu shit real quick. When you declared a kid like that a threat, eventually someone that can surpass us will be born. We were just too early. You may as well have announced that he's the one we've been waiting for. Yeah. Yeah. This shit means something to me, bro. Like, I love this This scene with Crocus, Rayleigh, Gaban, Whitebeard, Odin, and Shanks, maybe I'm blowing this scene out of proportion, but this is just essentially, even though like we as the audience already knew that Luffy was the person that they were looking for, this is the manga essentially confirming it, that like giving these characters, even though like some of these characters had a feeling or already kind of knew, this essentially confirming all of their like belief in Luffy. That's what this scene does, and that's why I fuck with it so heavy. And Emu has to admit that his shit got clocked, and he says like, "Yep, yeah, we were kind of being slow about that one. We kind of let that one. Yeah, we was kind of caught slipping on that one. You got me." Valid point. We were hasty and foolish. Perhaps we simply mistook numerous coincidences for fates. Let us put an end to this. Wait, you idiot! As Gaban jumps up, he does a quick apology to the Joshi Adam because there will be some collateral damage to this next attack. Sorry, Treasure Tree Adam. I don't want to have to devour you, but damn, my joints ache. This body of mine's gotten run down. Oh fuck, my back. And at the same time, Luffy is starting to looking like he's about to get up and that he might be healing himself. That punk, I won't forgive him. Even if he's Rayleigh's friend. And as Emu prepares to say the word stigma, he only gets a chance to get stig. Ooh! Kabuto! Ooh! Gaban, do it to him, bruh! Talk to me, come on, bruh. Let's see what it did. Oh, shit! I see. Oh, fuck. Okay. I see damage. Okay, whoa, fuck. Cutting up that entire branch of the Jewelry item as he blocks most of that with his Omen. And this is a pretty meaty attack, because this attack has some fire behind it, because he started bleeding from his head. Like, I think this might be the most pressed we've seen Emu, right? Like, there was, I want to say it's this time and then the time when Loki hit him into the tree and then fired a blast at him. But even then, I think he's more pressed here. Got this nigga Emu dual wielding with the axe and the bro. Gaban, bro. Hold on, bro. Gaban, bro. Let's see it. As Emu compliments Gaban, he's just like, you know what? Old as thou art still the Pirate King's crew. Right, Gaban, yeah, bro. Even in his old age, Gaban still earns the respect of the king of the world, bro. I fuck with that heavy. Old man still got it, gang. Old man still got it. And Emu asks him, "Are you so determined to believe that Luffy is that man?" Then, as he was asking that question, Gaban doubles his attack with another one, which is the similar attack that he used against Luffy and Zoro in the castle, but much stronger. 8,000 slash, Grim Throng. Oh shit! And as he's doing that move, Emu hits him with another Honabi attack. Oh fuck! And Gaban just, talks his shit back. He's just, well, like you aren't. Like he's just talking shit, saying that like, oh, like you don't believe that he's the man that we're looking for. And then obviously we get this scene of like the entire branch falling into the underworld, crashing into the mountains, breaking them apart. And we got back up to the realm of the sun, where everyone's seeing that huge ass explosion, and people are asking around like, yo, what's that, Luffy? Like, what's that, Luffy? And then we have Usopp. Another Usopp Haki moment, Oda. I fucking love you. I knew you had something for us in our bag, bruh. Ooh, Oda, I knew you had something for us in our bag. Usopp is the only one to point out, who's just like, no, that wasn't Luffy. There was somebody else up there. Someone devastatingly strong. And obviously, I believe he's talking about Gaban there. As we cut over to Gaban, and unfortunately, that Hanabi attack did a little bit more damage than I thought. Yo, I thought it just clipped him. I didn't think it took his. What? Oh man! Oh my god! Oh, I thought it just clipped him. I didn't think it took his whole arm off. What? Fuck, OG, no! Fuck! Ah, god damn. Originally, I thought it just clipped his arm. But no, it got his entire arm. As now, Gaban joins the one arm gang. I'm not gonna lie. Those Gaban memes of him having one arm are fucking hilarious. Y'all are diabolical with them shits, bro. Like, oh my goodness. Y'all had me rolling when I seen those. Yeah, that's the end of the chapter. Gaban down an arm and Luffy screaming out to him, old man. But Luffy does look a little bit better. Like, he looks like he got some life in him. I really did like this chapter, mainly because of the dialogue between Gaban and Emu. Because this is Emu interacting with somebody who knows who he is, like who actually knows who he is and his history. Like they don't know him personally, but they know his past. They know of Joy Boy. Maybe outside of like Rocks, who knew of Davy Jones. Yeah, he's like this interaction between Emu and Gaban was, I loved it. I loved every single second of it, right? We kind of get a little bit more characterization from Emu here as he's just trying to now lie. Now we have Emu trying to lie, saying, oh, well, like, maybe this kid isn't really like, Joy Boy or whatever the fuck, right? Well, he's kind of already showed his hand that, like, yeah, Luffy is that guy. As it comes to the weapons that Emu has, which now we have 6: Bohu, Fragarak, Jingtan, Hanabi, Graham, and Longisu. It seems that Bohu and Fragarak both devour vitality. Jingtan burns things with fire, and Hanabi has this kind of snake tracking slash. We still don't know what Longisus and Graham do really so far, but those are the weapons that we've seen so far. And as it comes to Gaban, I don't think he's gonna die. I don't want him to die. Personally, I don't want him to die. But if he does die, I feel like that would enhance the story a little bit. And if he doesn't make it out here, don't listen, Gaban. Listen, I'm gonna hold your hand, your good hand when I say this. Don't worry about Ripley. I got her, gang. She's in good hands. I'll make sure Colin, he goes to bed on time. I'll make sure he does. I'll make sure he becomes a strong warrior, just like you. Trust. But listen, leave Ripley to me. I got you, gang. I guess a prediction for next chapter. I do think we're going to cut over to Zoro and Sanji's fights next chapter. I think we're going to get a showcase of what Graham and Longisus can do, and I think we're going to get like a small snippet of we're going to be going with the other straws, because this chapter we mainly focused on Luffy, Gaban, and Emu. Next chapter for sure focus on the other straw hats. What's Harudin and Loki going to do? Maybe we're going to see something with Gunko and Brook. That's all I got for you today. Thank y'all for making it to the end. Let me know if I missed anything, or you just want to chat about the chapter. Let's get this conversation started down below in the comments. With all that being said, I'm going to catch y'all. Y'all be easy. Later!